And next up at UFC Macau, we've got Sergei Pavlovich taking on Tallison Teixeira. And if you're enjoying the content, hit that like and subscribe button as we break this one down. Give me Pavlovich in this matchup. Pavlovich has only really struggled against two specific guys inside the UFC, Tom Aspinall and Alexander Volkov. And obviously Volkov in that matchup, you go back and look at it, those two former friends, former training partners. And I think Pavlovich really just got dictated to in that matchup. Volkov planted his feet. He was able to be the one moving forward, using long-range weapons. And I think Pavlovich really struggled to get going in that one, getting on the inside, letting his shots go. And it didn't really look like the Sergei Pavlovich that we're used to seeing. And I think here against Tallison Teixeira, we see the knockout. We see the old Pavlovich come out here. He's been very measured since that loss, coming back-to-back unanimous decision victories, going the distance. And we're used to Pavlovich kind of having that one-shot power. And I think that with Tallison Teixeira, we're going to see him get knocked out. Tallison Teixeira is a guy that he wants to be able to plant his feet, but in this particular matchup here, I just don't think he's going to be able to. I think that Pavlovich is going to be the one walking forward. I think he's going to be the one that's dictating where this fight is taking place. I think he's going to back up Tallison Teixeira, land big shots, and corral the big man against the fence. And unfortunately for him, Tallison Teixeira is used to having a height and reach advantage over most of his opponents, but Pavlovich is actually going to have the 1-inch reach advantage with the arms. So I think in this matchup, I think that Pavlovich is going to be able to catch Tallison Teixeira on the end of one of his punches. Tallison isn't a great grappler either, so it's not like he's going to be shooting in for takedowns and level changing. He's not a guy that mixes in a ton of kicks. He has a nice step-in elbow that he can definitely utilize if Pavlovich decides to crash the pocket, but realistically, his defensive striking here is what worries me. He leaves his chin up in the air at times. I do recall him training with Alex Pereira in some sort of sparring video I saw recently on social media. But in that fight, Alex is walking him down. He's backing up as the taller fighter. I don't like that here against a guy like Pavlovich who, he can fight for 3 rounds. He mixes in attacks to the body. Pavlovich can also wrestle if he wants to. He has good kicks. I think Sergei Pavlovich should be able to get this one done, backing up the taller opponent, landing the big shots, attacking the lead leg, ripping to the body, coming upstairs, and ultimately I think Pavlovich gets back in the win column. He goes back to that Pavlovich that we're used to seeing and finds the knockout here against the 6'7" Tallison Teixeira. Let's see who Carlos has got in this matchup.
Okay, in this one, I'm going to take Pavlovich to get it done. And that's because I think Teixeira is still pretty raw. He's still pretty new to the UFC and to MMA. And, he can hit, but he doesn't throw leg kicks. And when Pavlovich fought Volkov, that's what Volkov used to keep the distance, through a lot of leg kicks and a lot of straight shots. And Teixeira, he does throw straight shots, but, he's not using his legs to keep the distance with someone like Pavlovich, who Pavlovich will rush in and throw a combination. He'll come in and throw maybe 3 or 4 punch combinations and hope that it lands as he's chasing you. But you have to be able to impede his forward progress in some way. And Pavlovich does have to be worried about Teixeira throwing straights down the middle, because those are what he does well, and he will land if you come in reckless. But Teixeira, I just think it's an experience thing. He hasn't worked on it enough. He has been bum rushed before in fights, and he's been clipped by people a lot shorter just from them running forward and throwing strikes. It happened with Derek Lewis, and it didn't end in his favor. And it also happened on the Contender Series, where guy was landing shots on him that was much shorter, and the reach factor was there, and he was just able to get through it. So those are things where he's got to learn how to slow down a guy, how to keep the distance, use the long limbs, use the long reach, and for that reason, I got Pavlovich to get this one done.